Hi, my name is Paul Zajac.
And I'm Rob Egan.
Welcome to Boss Battles.
This is where we take D&D live play and smash it together with sports commentary.
Kind of.
So today we're recording the score for our latest battle. Paul, would you like to talk about that battle?
Sure, yeah. So the battle is Whisper Me Green. It's the third battle in our league series. And we're going through the criteria that we're ranking the episode by. The contributors to the rankings were me and Rob, and then the players. The players' scores, we discarded there was 4 teams that contributed scores. We discarded the high score and the low score just so there's no incentive to give a really bad scores, which I don't think would happen anyway. And then we average out all the scores to come up with numbers.
And that's where we get the score.
Right.
So we're going to start off with the subjective scores. We're not going to go into the details of how we are going those criteria. We've done that in the past video, and we'll link to it below.
Yeah.
So you can always take a look to see what that is. But for subjective, let's start off with role play.
Yes, role play. So the score we'll put up there is a 3.35 on average out of 5. These guys had a theme from a movie which I really liked, and they thought about it. That's above average.
Yeah, and I think they really did some solid role play back and forth, and really added more to the battle than just the combat.
Yeah. The next category is originality, and they scored a 3. 3 is average. I think that in some ways, some of our things you can. If you score higher in one thing, you may score lower in the other. Like, for example, I think that Bill's play was excellent he really maxed out that Ranger. Was it original? I don't think so, because I think the Ranger is almost kind of trapped in how, if they want to be their best, they got to use all those things. And Bill hit every note of those things, which, if he would have gone around I'm attacking you with the wiggly worm. It would have been original, but not very functional.
I think what really gets me is Bill really plays the textbook version of the characters, which is he really does a really good job. But when you're doing something textbook, it's not necessarily.
Yeah. I think he has the capacity to do whatever the hell he wants to, but he's I think it's this is a competition, and so he's maxing out his character.
And don't get me wrong, everyone was playing great here.
Yeah, right.
And this is why we have some subjective criteria.
Yeah. Okay. So that was originality. The next category is teamwork. So their average out of 5 was 3.85. So well above average. Do you want to talk about teamwork a little?
I think it was really great. Bill kind of trying to get enemies away from the group, breaking them apart, so they weren't all with that spirit guardians. Then we have Spike, Eve's character, going in and supporting Bill's character. The teamwork here was solid.
Yeah, I think everybody did an awesome job. I think Betsy was a really great support character. Laid down those concentration spells, tucked herself away.
Yes.
The barbarian did what a barbarian's supposed to do: just wades out into the middle of battle and gets damage. And the paladin does a little bit of everything. Yep. It was very good teamwork. I thought they did well on that.
Next up, we have courtesy. With the courtesy, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
These guys were assholes. No, no, they were not.
They were not, because they for the courtesy scores, you see, was a 3.38.
Right.
So definitely, again, above average. And they did a really great job. I could definitely tell that there was among themselves and among the DM, when they were talking about different rules and such, I didn't see any fighting.
Yeah, no fighting. They're also prepared for their turns.
Yep.
Above average 3.385. And then fun factor, the episode got an average of 3.68. So also above average. Was it fun to watch or not? Yes, it was.
I enjoyed it. Yeah.
Okay, so those are the subjective criteria. We're going now through the objective criteria, the next 5 categories. And I guess I'll take the first one. Did they complete their objective? Yes, they did. And so that's a 5 out of 5.
Yep. After that is, how many rounds did it take for them to complete it? Well, they finished it in 7 rounds.
Yeah.
So that's going to earn them a 1 point.
A 1, yeah. Yes, we're going to change this for our next tier, because the first, completing the objective and number of rounds almost for everybody it turns out to be the same thing. So we got to do something about that. But we're keeping it consistent.
Yes.
So they got a 5, then they got a 1. So the next category is party damage divided by total damage. And for that, they scored a 2.9 on average, which, I think the one thing I do have to mention about the objective scores is that when it comes down to these battle statistics, whereas in the subjective, we're setting average as a 3, it's much harder to get above a 3 with the objective criteria. So we saw that in our last battle, and here a little bit too, 2.9. It's actually pretty good.
Yeah, and I think we're going to continue to see that trend, mainly because as we go up in levels, we're going to go up in the monsters are going to start hitting harder.
Yeah,
and dealing more damage.
Well, we'll see. Yeah, it'll be interesting.
Yeah.
Next category.
After that is the hit percentage. How many of the hits did they take, and how many landed? For that, the party scored a 3.75.
Yeah, so they did very well on that. And then our final category was the percentage of time the party was able to have their opponents fail their saving throws as a mark of, to kind of give some measurement to spellcasters' non-attack capabilities. And that they did very well. It was like 80% of the time the opponent failed save, so that comes out to a 4 for the score. Okay, so one other thing I wanted to mention about the score, we did give people an option to vote for, did the DMing influence either positively, did it give the team an advantage, or did it disadvantage the team in question? Somebody did vote that the dungeon mastering gave the team a bit of an advantage, and so that would have given the team a -1 on their score. But because we're throwing out 2 of our player scores, the higher score and the lower score, that got thrown out with those other 2. But I did want to mention that we take that into consideration. Somebody felt that the DMing advantaged the player, and that's fair. Okay, so the overall score.
The overall score averaged out is a 67.8, but they also get that 1 bonus point for adding scores, so it's 68.8.
68.8, and that puts them just barely in the lead.
Lead, yeah.
Right. So that's it. Thanks so much for joining us, and we'll see you next time.
All right. Thank you.